Hey guys, Tomboy61, and we are back in World of Warships Legends, back with our best and worst series. And today, small twist on it. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the best in ships that are both the best and the worst to bring in to season 12, season 11 of Ranked, the sprint season, Rank 2. Listen, we've had so many tier 5 ranked events. I don't feel like you really need a listicle of the best tier 5 ships. It's out there, it's well known. I'm sure even I've done a video on it. You could probably use my arena mode recommendations. But instead of doing that today, I'm going to talk about ships that are both the best and the worst, ones that have strong upsides and downsides, ones that you need that may have a higher skill ceiling, because that is, I don't know, something interesting to talk about. But before we do that, let's go ahead and talk comment of the day. Comment of the day goes out to someone who leaves a comment on one of our previous videos, and today's goes out to Mr. Kojak. He says, Yamato with Starblazer / Spaceship Yamato skin would be fire. And let me tell you, I absolutely agree. I just think we may never get it. Yes, we get the anime captains and the anime girls and all of that in this game. I just don't think we're going to get an actual real life, outside of Zerlane, anime crossover for Spaceship Yamato. I would love it if we could, because that would be incredible and amazing, and yeah, that would be great, but I just don't think we are going to see it. So yeah, guys, if you want to be featured in comment of the day, make sure you leave a comment down below. Also, make sure you join us over on Twitch tonight. I'll be streaming at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the 3 ships I want to highlight today, one from each class. First one is going to be one that you're like, well, Tommy, that's a really good ship. Why are you even featuring it? There's no way it can have a downside. And that is the Fubuki. Yes, the ship we all love to hate because of its sheer stealthiness. And that, I think, is the one key advantage of it. That is, its one saving grace is the torpedoes and its straight up sea detectability range. Remember, base stat on that sea detectability is a measly 5.4 kilometers and 3 by air, which is very, very close. And if you can rock the ship into division and range, you're going to be set just if you can keep your division mate alive. However, one of the things I think you need to think about in this new version of Ranked is the ranks aren't split up by what rank your teammates have. So running a Fubuki, you're very much kind of relying on your teammates to take in the spotting, to do their roles, and you may not be able to control them. I mean, let's be clear, you won't be able to control your teammates. And if you're relying on them to do damage beyond just your, like if you only have the torpedoes, let's be clear, the main battery, slowest reload time at 8.3, second lowest shells per minute at 43.4. This thing doesn't have strong guns. It needs to rely on its torpedoes, which means it needs time alive, and you may not get that if your team is collapsing. You don't have as much of an emphasis on battle. You will be able to get in there and take caps, but you might get outdone by the other destroyer if you get spotted. Like, there's a lot of hazards for you, especially when it's going to be a 5v5, and at most you can only control one other teammate. I think the Fubuki is a risky pick. As we all know, it is a fantastic ship. It is a terror in the correct hands, but from my eyes, it is an amazing ship, but also it might be the worst, because if you have a bad team, it is one of the ones that you have the least ability to affect the outcome, just because your damage potential is so limited to those torpedoes. Now, you may be a god tier destroyer player and you may have amazing torp skills, but if you have if you're going up against a team or one player who understands how to dodge torps and has like intuitive and is in a Budione with radar, you might have just met your match. You know, it's going to be rough for you. So yeah, Fubuki is the first ship I wanted to highlight today. The next ship that I think could either be the best ship in the category or straight up the worst ship in the category is going to be the Trento. And I know what you're thinking, the Trento, really, yeah. Last week I realized that speed is one of the biggest things you're going to need from a cruiser, just because you can help cap things, get your destroyer to move on quicker, And that is where the Trento has its power. It is one of the fastest ships. It has a top speed of 35 knots, which is right up there for the fastest cruisers at the tier. The detectability range is incredible, 10.6. It is one of the stealthiest cruisers. Detectability by air, 6.3. Like, it has a lot of little quirks to it that may mean it is an excellent ship to go ahead and try out at ranked. I know I'm going to give it a go just because I think the incredible concealment on it, or at least decent concealment on it, with the high speed, with the moving smoke generator, means you may be able to buy yourself time to get into the first cap, pop that smoke, like cap it on your own, and then be able to move and support. You will be sort of reserved to the back line. That is one of the downsides, is it is one of the lowest damage per minute cruisers at the tier, 92,000 per sec or per minute when you're using HE, and 158,000 when you're damage per minute when you're using AP, which is the second worst at the tier. Like, it is not a high damage per minute. It is going to be a skill ship, and that may come to hurt you. But if you can keep nimble, if you can keep dodge, if you can be the smarter player, I think this could be the best ship, or at least one of the best ships, because of the utility. It does also have the highest base HP of any ship at the tier. Once again, it's a weird little conundrum. It's a weird little cookie, but it's one that, if used in the right hands, I think it could be absolutely incredible in ranked, just because you do have that limited number of people over there going at you. You do have that high top speed. You have that decent concealment. You have decent guns. The AP is really good. And yeah, overall, I think the Trento is a sleeper, but you are going to need to know how to use it, which could mean it's also the worst. Like, the low damage per minute could also get you in trouble very consistently, which is why I think in my opening matches, Trento is going to be one that I go ahead and try out, just because it may turn out to surprise me. I may end up liking that. Okay, now on to the final ship, and you may recognize the ship from what I consider to be one of the worst ships. Actually, I called it the worst battleship for the previous ranked mode, or for arena mode, and that's going to be Izmail. And as I said in that arena mode video, Izmail is a fantastic ship if you can use her correctly, and the key to using her correctly is going to be positioning. It's all going to be about the positioning and doing that correctly because of her firing angles. You have to do essentially a J-turn is what I feel like I have to do to play her properly. You have to get turned around and rear facing before you get spotted, so that then you have really good armor angles, but you have the majority of your guns available to be on target. Also, can we just talk about this match we have on the screen right now? 2 Izmails on our team, 2 on their side, and the full match is all battleships and destroyers. There's some weird matchmaking going on right now, wargaming, and I don't know what's really going on. Anyways, Izmail, back to the point. It is a solid, fantastic, heavy-hitting, excellent armor ship if you can position it correctly. If you don't, you get torn apart. We all know this. The Russian takes one shot to the side and it blows up instantly, and that's very much still what Izmail does. It does not like being shot in the side, and if you fail to position, if you fail to armor angle, you're going to go up in a big pile of smoke. But if you can manage to either pull a J-turn and reverse into B, or into the area where you can see your enemies, you're going to be fairly unstoppable as a ship, just because the ability for your ship to bounce and the narrow firing angles that your ship is able to maintain while being chased, or in my case, sometimes reversing into a cap, is incredible. It's fantastic. And you are able just to punch people in the teeth that are not expecting it, because they go broadside, or because they're just trying to figure out a way, if they get more guns or do something to injure you. But you can go ahead and just keep on injuring them and not taking much damage. And that's why I think it could be an excellent ship for ranked. But once again, it's all going to be about that positioning. It's all kind of going to be on luck of your teammates, because they are going to need to spot for you while you make that J-turn. so that you can figure out which way you need to turn. Like there are going to be some key team moments that are needed in the Izmail, and that's why it could either be a fantastic ranked ship or one that you just need to stay very, very far away from. Okay, guys, that is the video for today. What did you guys think? I like this little change of direction on this best and worst, just because I do like to point out what a ship's positives and negatives are, and because really and honestly, all ships should be like that. All ships, if they're properly balanced, you should be able to make an argument as to why it's the best ship and why it's the worst ship. And I think these three ships are examples of ones that either you thought were already powerful or you might not have thought as powerful, but if you look at certain stats and the scenario that is going to be put in front of us in Sprint this week, I think they may end up coming out on top if captained correctly. Anyways, guys, my name's TommyBoy601. If you liked the video, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.